On Monday, I had the great pleasure to attend Spitfire Audio's LA pop-up event with a very casual afternoon session where the team had several workstations set up with all the latest Spitfire libraries. Attendees could check them out, and many familiar Spitfire faces were there on hand to answer questions, show off the software, or even share a cup of tea. The evening session started out with a big bang, the LCO Quartet. In our inner circle of composers here, this group is best known for working with Johnny Greenwood on There Will Be Blood score, as well as performing the theatrical scores with Assassin's Creed and soon to be released Alien Covenant score. For the 200 lucky entrants to the nighttime event, we get to hear several pieces performed by the LCO Quartet. Now, these are four of the players that recorded for the London Contemporary Orchestra Spitfire Audio Sample Library. Of course, Sample Library Review reviewed LCO strings not long after it was released. I'll be sure to include a link over to that in the description below. Now, the LCO Quartet played a selection of music from There Will Be Blood, as well as original works written with the quartet in mind. As someone who spends most of his days working with virtual instruments, the quartet's performance was a huge highlight and by far the best $5 concert I've had the pleasure of attending. Next on the agenda was a masterclass from Brendan Angelita. Brendan is a Los Angeles-based music producer and composer who records and performs live as Eskimo. Now, besides writing and touring as a recording artist, Brendan's recent music for media projects include Showtime's series Billions and the new Netflix series 13 Reasons Why. Now, in the masterclass that Brendan held, highlights of the talks here for me included a bit about workflow for the production for 13 Reasons Why and how typical interaction with the showrunner and music editor kept Brendan's writing momentum going under the tight deadlines. The other huge takeaway here came from Brendan demonstrating a before and after version of a dramatic yet sparse scene from 13 Reasons Why, where he showed how he uses a few Spitfire sample libraries, including Spitfire's Tundra, with additional processing to develop a truly unique, evolving set of layers and textures to paint a dramatic modern underscore.
And then also a compressor at the end. So with a bunch of this stuff.
Now, if I get a chance with a little free time later this week, I'll hope to do a separate video to show you this technique he is using, because I think it has some great merit both conceptually and in practice for taking the kind of libraries that most of us own and pushing them into new and unique timbres and tones for our scores.
So that's the two together?
Yeah.
Now, the next session was led by Spitfire's own Christian Henson. He utilized the LCO Quartet, and Christian went into depth, sharing some of his thoughts and techniques for experimenting and capturing live instruments at the beginning of a project to spark creativity. Christian's talked before about capturing live instruments to craft your own sample libraries.
I think many people would then say what you need is a sample library or a sound set, and in what must be sample developer suicide, I actually would recommend the first thing you need to get after all of that is a microphone, because one of the quickest routes to you developing your own voice is to create your own sounds.
And although this masterclass was very exciting and brilliantly inspiring, I'm unable to really share too much about it because the example media is of an unreleased television series that Christian is currently scoring.
So it's, thanks very much.
The night's headliner, so to speak, was composer Charlie Clouser. Now, this was a command performance of his master class that he presented at NAMM earlier this year. It was so good that Spitfire felt that more people could benefit from witnessing the insight Charlie had to offer as he walked the audience through a cue for the series Wayward Pines, of which he is the composer. Now, I witnessed the original presentation at NAMM and found the entire talk, which I'll reference here below with a link, as well as my 5-minute video summary I created when I first saw this masterclass called 3 Things I Learned from Charlie Clouser.
And similar to the Charango, I did 2 tracks, one that's pitched an octave down, just using the pitch knob on contact, and then a normal one. So the normal one is...
This was just such a great event, catching up with new and old friends, a couple drinks, and I left with loads of inspiration. I'll be sure to put a link in the description below, take you over to a page on Sample Library Review that'll have all the links to the videos and the software I talked about here. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd love your support. And be sure to head over to samplelibraryreview.com for all the latest news, reviews, and deals.